Yo guys, what's going on? Modern Hoops here, and I am back with another video. So as NBA fans, we all understand how injuries are just part of the game and how they also suck, especially when it happens to your favorite player. Throughout NBA history, we've seen many young stars or players not live up to their full expectations or full potential due to the reoccurrence of injuries. For example, Derrick Rose to a lot of people had the potential to be one of the greatest players we've ever seen this era. Just as people like to talk about Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Westbrook, Damian Lillard as some of the greatest point guards the league has to offer right now, Derrick Rose was supposed to be in those conversations. We're talking about someone at the age of only 22 was the youngest MVP in NBA history, and in the same season led the Chicago Bulls to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat in 2011. He was also the Rookie of the Year in 2008 and was three-time All-Star in this short time in the league. The sky was literally the limit for Derrick Rose until he tore his ACL in his right knee in the 2012 NBA playoffs against the Philadelphia 76ers, followed by another torn ACL in his left knee, which led to a series of other injuries which ultimately took away from his promising future. And to name some other young stars in NBA history whose careers were ruined by injuries, there was Brandon Roy, Greg Oden, Penny Hardaway, who like Rose tore his ACL and was the first of many setbacks. So yeah, injuries suck. They take potentially Hall of Fame careers away. But with that being said, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 young stars in today's NBA whose careers could be ruined by injuries. But while I was making this video, I was thinking of ways I could make it even better. So I got my guy, the one and only Mojo99, joining me in this collab. Tell him what's good real quick.
Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. Now, if you don't know who I am, now you do. I'm Mojo99, and I, just like Modern Hoop, make vibe-worthy NBA videos. But enough with all the small talk though, let's just hop right into it. The best ability in the NBA is availability. Being able to suit up healthy night in and out is by far the most important thing in the league. Because without it, what are you doing? You can't bring value to your team, and a strong presence felt without you being on the court. So as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about some injury-prone young players. So right off the bat, one of the most low-key, under-the-radar, injury-prone young players that I can think of is like Lonzo Ball. Now, Lonzo has 2 years under his belt in the league now, and within those 2 years, he's already suffered from 4 injuries. The first one was a sprained shoulder that costed him 6 days. The second one was a sprained MCL, which made him pay up 16 games. A knee contusion made him give up 8 games, and a couple of months ago, he suffered an ankle injury, which kept him off the court for the rest of the year. In his 2 seasons in the NBA, out of the possible 164 games he could have played, he's only played in 99 of them. That is, yeah, it's pretty bad. And the stats for the Lakers show that when Lonzo doesn't play, the Lakers are a horrendous, atrocious team. But compared to when he actually does play in the game, the Lakers are closer to the winning side of things. They're damn near 500 with a 49-50 record. Now, Zo did put on some muscle last year and he did improve. But the next step for him, no matter how much he works on his shot and finishing around the rim, has to be getting his body on point and making sure that he can handle pressure and being under stress, instead of just missing games here and there because of ticky-tack injuries. Lonzo Ball has so much potential bottled up inside of him, man. And he has a chance, just a slight chance, to become an all-star one day. But before that speculation even becomes a thing, he needs to get his body right.
So coming at number 2 is Joel Embiid. Now, Joel Embiid's short time in the league so far has been nothing less than amazing, having already been a 2-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA, and 1-time All-Defensive Team. But it has come with its fair share of injuries to the point where it's becoming quite concerning. But check out this crazy stat that only rivals Greg Oden. So out of the 410 games the Sixers have played since drafting Joel Embiid back in 2014, he has only played in 158 of them, which is pretty insane. Now, Joel Embiid ended up missing the first 2 seasons of his career recovering from a broken right foot, but if it wasn't for that back injury he suffered while he was at Kansas, he could have potentially been the #1 overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft. So even before he came into the league, he was already dealing with injuries. It would take 28 months after he got drafted to make his long-awaited NBA debut. But he would then proceed to only play 31 games that season due to a bone bruise and a torn meniscus in his right knee. Now, his second season in the league, Joel Embiid was able to see the court much more than his rookie season, playing 63 games, but would end up missing a couple games here and there due to a sore back, which isn't a good sign at all because once again he did suffer a back injury during his days in Kansas. But during the end of the season, Joel Embiid would end up missing the final 8 games and the start of the postseason because of a fractured orbital bone he suffered due to an unlucky altercation he had with Markelle Fultz being an inadvertent headbutt. But fast forward to this season, Joel Embiid has only played 64 games, which is up only 1 game from the season prior. But just like the season prior, he's been dealing with a lot of nagging injuries and would end up playing only 8 games after the All-Star break, dealing with pain in his right knee. And so far this postseason, we've been getting reports about Joel Embiid playing through pain and dealing with tendonitis in his right knee, and he's already missed a game because of it. Joel Embiid has shown a lot of potential, but these injuries are starting to become more concerning. And just watching him play, you kind of get that Derrick Rose vibe just a little, where every time he hits the floor hard or gets fouled hard, you can't help but worry, hoping it's nothing bad. So yeah, Joel Embiid has shown a lot of potential in his young career, but these injuries are becoming a big concern.
The next player on this list is Kristaps Porzingis. Now, this shouldn't be a surprise whatsoever. Bigger dudes in the NBA have always had health issues, more than any other species in the NBA. That's just how it is, and probably will be for the rest of time. Kristaps Porzingis has already missed 60 games in his career, not including this past season. As each year in his career goes by, you would notice that he's been consistently playing less and less games as each year goes by. In his rookie year, he played 72 games. The next year, he played 66. And then the following year, last year, he played 48. And now this past season, he played 0, of course. Kristaps is way too talented and young to be going out like this. I do have some hope for him undoing that narrative though, just because of how great of a situation he is in Dallas. No longer having to be the lone star carrying the load, having to gather all these minutes on his back for a sorry team. He has a great coach to manage his minutes and also a star player to rely on. So much less stress is going to be placed upon his shoulders.
So coming at number 3 is Markelle Fultz. Now, I know what some of you guys might say, isn't this list supposed to consist of players who's already show potential? And yeah, and I also get the fact that Markelle Fultz's time in the league hasn't been that great, and besides that 1 triple-double game he had against the Bucks in his rookie season, making him the youngest player in NBA history to tally one, he hasn't done much in the league. But for me, I wanted to focus on the potential he had coming into the league. Now, coming into the league, Markelle Fultz was supposed to complete the process. Someone who was drafted for their amazing scoring abilities, a player that was known for being a great ball handler, who wasn't shy of contact, was a great playmaker, and on top of it all, could actually shoot the ball. But we're just not seeing that same player, and today Markelle Fultz is just a former shell of himself. And ever since the beginning of the mysterious Markelle Fultz drama / shoulder injury, which started early in the 2017-2018 NBA season, when after the first 4 games, which of course he wasn't shooting the ball well, and it wasn't just the fact he wasn't shooting the ball well, it's that his form was messed up. He'd end up missing all but the final 8 games of his rookie season, but what made this really confusing for me is that the 76ers had no clue what was wrong with Markelle Fultz, and they came out with a whole bunch of different reports and news that just escalated the whole situation and made it more confusing. And during that time, a lot of people were blaming the 76ers for mishandling Markelle Fultz because, for one, apparently they had some sort of involvement in the changing of his form and making him play on an injured shoulder during the beginning of the season. So apparently he had a scapular muscle imbalance in his right shoulder. So basically, the 76ers medical staff was a mess with Markelle Fultz in his rookie season. But I wasn't going to call Markelle Fultz a bust just yet, especially after not playing over half the season. Although The medical staff was a mess with Markelle Fultz in his rookie season, but I believe there was something wrong with Markelle Fultz, that he did suffer some type of injury. And when he did eventually come back, it wasn't anything spectacular, but we were all waiting for a Markelle Fultz that was 100% healthy without all the extra drama and unknown injuries. I really wanted to see what he could do when he was fully healthy, and with all the news and reports we were getting from the past offseason that Markelle Fultz was 100% healthy, that he could shoot again, that his shot was actually back, and you even had his former trainer saying you could expect an all-star level season from Markelle Fultz. Although I never believed the all-star season part, but I was pretty hyped to know that we were finally gonna get a Markelle Fultz that was 100% healthy this season, and one who could actually shoot the ball again. But hold up, at this point, is he even still in the league? But nah, after a disappointing stretch with the 76ers, we got reports that he wasn't actually healthy and that he was still having problems with his shoulders. So ever since November, we haven't seen him on the court since then. And the 76ers ended up giving up on him and traded him to the Orlando Magic. And yeah, we still haven't heard a word from him since then. And if things don't get any better, he'll go down as one of the worst #1 overall picks in NBA history. But it makes you wonder how different things could have been if it wasn't for that mysterious shoulder injury. But coming at number 5 is Victor Oladipo. So after a couple great years in Orlando, Victor Oladipo was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder, where he didn't have that great of a season. But after another trade to the Indiana Pacers for Paul George, Victor Oladipo finally had his breakout year and was looking like the player we all knew he could be coming into the league. But during his time in the league, Victor Oladipo has dealt with a lot of minor knee injuries. For example, back in 2014, he ended up missing the season opener due to a sprained MCL in his knee. So those reoccurring knee injuries aren't new to Victor Oladipo, but this year things took a turn for the worse as he ended up suffering a season-ending ruptured quad tendon in his right knee, a serious injury that affects both speed and athleticism and is a major cause for concern. And prior to the injury earlier this season, Victor Oladipo was out indefinitely with a sore right knee. So it sucks to see this happen to Victor Oladipo, especially after becoming the face of the franchise for the Indiana Pacers, and to put all that work in the offseason just to be hit by season-ending injury, you know, it sucks. But hopefully he does come back 100%. But once again, this is a very serious injury, but you know, prayers up. But with that being said, that's all we got for you guys today, and I'm gonna let Mojo finish it off.
But this is the end of the video, man. I really do appreciate you for coming here on Modern Hoops NBA channel and showing them some love. Once again, my name is Mojo99. I make NBA videos soon. If you feel like it, go ahead, check me out. But until then, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that on Modern Hoops channel. But until then, I'll get right with you.